UFC 305 is coming up this weekend, and today, guys, I have the complete betting guide for you. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels, and welcome back to a complete betting guide. And did I mention timestamps? Timestamps will be there if you'd like to skip to any part of the video, guys. Before we get into the confident picks, I want to apologize a little bit. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me deep breathing a little bit. My allergies are killing me right now, so I'm doing my best to get through this. With that being said, guys, let's start this video off with the confident picks. And the first confident pick that I have for you is going to be Tom Nolan. If you guys are interested, if you guys are brand new to the series on the channel, for these betting guide videos, I typically give a brief reason as to why I think these fighters are going to win or why they are in a particular section. If you're interested in hearing me talk about the fights as much as I possibly can, you can check out the full card breakdown. That video is already published. So, Tom Nolan has been on an absolute tear, guys. Alex Reyes is a very, very inactive fighter with potential, brother of the Dominic Reyes. But after his big, long layoff, he came back, and he just hasn't looked the same, and he's only had one fight against Charlie Campbell, but he just did not look like himself. He's very aged right now. Tom Nolan is a huge, huge favorite, which is crazy. I mean, I don't think he should be that big of a favorite because Tom Nolan is very, very hittable, but at the end of the day, Tom Nolan looks like he can just outdo Alex Reyes no matter where the fight is, to be honest. He's improving. I would just like to see a little bit more defense from Tom Nolan, but Tom Nolan, at the end of the day, is a confident pick of mine right now. Let's move on to the next confident pick that I have for you guys. It's going to be Carlos Prates. As much as I love Li Jingliang, he's coming off of a big layoff, 2 years. He's 36 years old right now, and Carlos Prates is one of those strikers that's coming into the division that really seems like he could be something special. He's been really putting it together lately. And I think his creativity and diverse set of strikes could really get a one-up on Li Jingliang because Li Jingliang is great at the fundamentals, but there are times where he also leaves his hands down once he gets a little bit carried away in the fight, and I just think that Carlos Prates will be able to keep him on the outside, will be able to hit him more than Li Jingliang is hitting him, and I know it's a little bit more of a simple breakdown in that sense, but I think he has the striking tools necessary to get one-up on Li Jingliang. Plus, I worry about the layoff. Nobody knows why the layoff happened. Maybe he's injured. He kind of just disappeared. That's another thing to take into consideration. But Carlos Prates is a confident pick of mine. The last confident pick I have for you guys is going to be Steve Erceg. Guys, Steve Erceg should be the champion. He just beat Alexandre Pantoja in most people's opinions. Kai Kara-France is coming off, which I believe to be an injury. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, he hasn't fought in over a year ago. Steve Erceg has been very active. I believe that we know, and he's taken on some great opponents, by the way, and just beat the champion, in my opinion. I think that even in the striking, which is Kai Kara-France's really only chance of winning this fight, Steve Erceg is better in the striking, and I think he has more options if he wants to explore the ground game as well. I'm very confident in Steve Erceg to get the job done, and I'm feeling really, really good about him. Now, guys, I want to talk about some underdog opportunities, or one underdog opportunity. Out of everybody on the card, which underdog is, if you want to take a stab at the underdog, which isn't necessarily a pick of mine, I could see this one being a little bit of an upset. I almost didn't include this because I am picking Jairzinho Rozenstruik to win the fight. But the reason why I'm talking about this being an underdog opportunity is because Tai Tuivasa, as of the time of recording this video, he's a decent-sized underdog. He's probably going to be faster than Rozenstruik. He's fighting in his hometown, and he might get a little bit of hype off the crowd for it. He's going to be faster, and Tai Tuivasa has the power to absolutely chin anybody, and Rozenstruik has been chinned before. I don't think that's going to happen, but if the upset happened, it just wouldn't shock me. So you kind of get why I almost didn't include this, but at the end of the day, out of every underdog on the card, if you want to take a stab at one, I don't think that's really too bad of an idea. But let's continue on through the video, guys. Fights that I do not believe you should be betting on. A little bit more of a simple reason why, and the first one's going to be Stuart Nickel. Mostly because he's looked really, really good so far. He's 8-0, but the problem is he's faced really nobody. He looks like he has a complete skill set. It looks like he can maybe take you down, do some ground and pound. Like, the technique seems to be there, but he's taking on somebody in Jesus Aguilar who has already had a bunch of UFC experience against really, really good opponents. I don't know how this is going to go, how Stuart is going to fare in the UFC against a high-level competition because he hasn't faced that yet. So I believe you guys should be staying away from this one, to be honest with you, because Nickel does have the technique necessary to look like a promising fighter. The next fight, guys, I do not believe you should be betting on is going to be Josh Kalibao versus Ricardo Ramos, mostly because I think both of them are underappreciated fighters, and both of them do have their ways to win. I don't know exactly where this fight's going to go. I have a slight lean towards Kalibao, but Ramos is good. He can catch you in a sub. Both of them are coming off of losses, and both of them are kind of at the same spot of their career. I think it's a little bit evenly matched. Both guys can get the win here. It's a little bit of a simple reason why you should be betting on this fight, but I think it's a close fight, and I don't know if you can really predict what's going to happen. But speaking of fights that you're not going to be able to predict, what do you guys think is going to happen between Junior Taffa and Walter Walker? Because I have no clue. I think this is the biggest 50-50 fight on the card. Junior Taffa, if he keeps on the feet, he's probably going to knock out Walter. But if Junior Taffa can't defend any takedowns, then Walker might just take him down, grind him out. But even then, you can't trust anybody who has zero cardio. What about Taffa? Showing up, not checking any leg kicks whatsoever? What if that's a game plan from Walter Walker? Not a clue how this fight's going to go. Stay away from this one out of every single fight on the card. I wholeheartedly believe that. Now, guys, I have one more fight that I do not believe you should be betting on, and it's Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Dricus du Plessis somehow keeps getting the job done, okay? On paper, I think Israel Adesanya seems to be the better fighter. He could dance around. He could pick apart Dricus du Plessis. But Dricus du Plessis also could just come forward, grab Israel Adesanya, maybe land some bombs. Also, is Israel Adesanya, how is he going to recover from the Sean Strickland loss? He could be contender is he again and show up and just murder Dricus du Plessis. He could show up with a boob and have the power like he did in the Costa fight. Or he could be aging now. He's 35 years old in a very tough division, taken not a ton of damage, but he's been in the game for a very, very long time. He could just be past his prime. Do not bet on this fight. I think it is another 50-50 fight on the card. Not a clue how it's going to go. So I think you guys should stay away from this one. Now, guys, let's talk about lock of the week. The fighter on the card that I believe has as close to 100% of chance of winning is going to be Jack Jenkins. All Herbert Burns has for him is a submission threat, but he's 36 years old. His takedowns aren't even good. I don't think even if he does get a hold of Jack Jenkins, I feel like Jack Jenkins will be able to shrug him off. Jack Jenkins, on the other hand, I have been incredibly impressed with so far. You could argue that he was doing very well against Chepe Mariscal on his way to winning that fight, and then he ended up getting an injury in that fight. The only other way that I could see this fight going south is if that injury is still present. Other than that, though, been very, very impressed with what I've seen from Jack Jenkins, and I think this is a little bit of a layup fight for him. I'm very, very confident in him getting the job done. Now, guys, before we get into the section with the fun parlays, I do want to take a little bit of a pause here and advertise the channel membership if you guys are interested. Very, very cheap compared to other channels if you either want to support the channel or see where I'm actually putting my money where my mouth is when it comes to betting, because I talk a lot about betting on this channel. Every single Thursday or Friday before the event, I'll be posting a members-only video and a community post with the official bets that I'll be placing for MMA. Every single weekend, we just clean sweeped last card. We hit every single bet, and it was awesome. So if you guys are interested in either supporting the channel or combining my fight knowledge with your own research, it is right there, pinned comment, description down below, or right next to this is the subscribe button. Also, a tool that we use often on the channel called OddsJam. If you guys are interested in signing up to OddsJam, it is fantastic for multiple sports books. You can check out where all the bets are coming from, where the best lines are. If you guys are interested, you can check out OddsJam in the pinned comment description down below as well. Use my link and code Clenbat. You can get a discount. Thank you very, very much for listening, guys. I would love to talk about next the looking for props, but at the time of recording this video, there have been no props coming out. So what we're going to be doing is taking a look over at the fun part of the video we have going on over here. And this part isn't serious at all. We just take a look at what if we put some fighters together, if we make a fun parlay. Let's see what kind of money we can get. Now, something my sister and I do every single week is put 10 cents on every single underdog. Close fight between Taffa and Walker, so I think that was a good call over there. And I can already tell going to be a pretty good payout. It's never going to happen, man, but it's always fun. We get $18,000 for every underdog to get the win here. But hey, this is a crazy sport we have over here. So what else do we have here? Like, if we wanted to put in, I almost included Luana Santos in the confident picks, but I didn't. But let's take a look at some confident picks, like Jack Jenkins. Let's take Tom Nolan, although that's like, these two aren't even worth putting together, to be honest with you. Carlos Prates, and oh my God, a fighter that I completely forgot to talk about was Mateusz Gamrot. I am extremely confident in Mateusz Gamrot to get the job done. I have no idea why I didn't talk about him. So we're going to include Mateusz Gamrot over here. Steve Erceg, all of them together, they're pretty big favorites. That is the little bit of a rough part. What difference does it make if we take off these two? Very, very little. But I do like these together. Carlos Prates, Mateusz Gamrot, and Steve Erceg. I like Gamrot and Steve Erceg together. That's almost 2 times your money. I also like Prates. And if you want to put in Jack Jenkins there, I don't mind that as well, to be honest with you. But honestly, Tom Nolan is not worth what he's at right now. You basically get nothing. That's absolutely insane. But even if you just want to make some picks, what can we put over here? So Luana Santos, Jack Jenkins, tough one. Aguilar, Galibao, I'm not touching this fight. Song Kanan, Tom Nolan, Carlos Prates, Mateusz Gamrot, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, Steve Urseg, and Dricus Duplessis. That is a pretty good payout, but the chances of that happening is pretty well zero. But it's really... I like putting in a bunch of props. Like, I don't even know what I would pick for props. Like, Casey O'Neill, Luana Santos, even putting that over 1.5 rounds, I don't know if I'd like, because you could do Jack Jenkins and Casey O'Neill over 1.5 rounds, but that payout isn't even good either. I'll really need to think about my plays this time around. I do have a couple already, but I'll need to think about if there's anything going else right here. But guys, let me know if there are any plays that you like down below. Thank you for being here. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you are interested in the full card breakdown, where we dive way deep into these fights, you can check out this video on screen right now. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Take care.